I'd like it to be known that all members of the council are present with the exception of Mayor Pro Tem Olvera, who is out of office for work and excused. With that said, I'm going to look to Councilmember Espinoza to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will lead you in the invocation. Sir?
Please stand. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing. Father, thank you so much for this day you have given us. Thank you for just being ever so present in our lives, helping us and guiding us through every decision that we make. We just pray that we can continue to do the work that you've blessed us with to edify your name and throughout the city to bring blessings to the people of Shafter. We thank you and love you. In your name, amen.
Amen.
All right. With that said, we're going to ask for an approval of agenda. I believe tonight consent calendar item number 9 was pulled to a future meeting. Any other changes out of that, sir?
Other than number 9, which we will bring back at a later date, everything else stays the same.
Okay, I need approval of an amended agenda removing item number 9 from consent calendar to a future date.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Prout, second by Councilmember Espinoza. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado?
Yes.
Prout?
Yes.
Espinoza?
Yes.
And Givens?
Yes. Very good. This time we're going to move into public comment. Public comment is for any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda or within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council. Speakers are asked to come to the podium and address the city council. Speakers are also limited to 5 minutes unless additional time is needed for translation. Please state your name and address for the record. And I believe we also have cards that they have filled out. So at this time, public comment is open. City Clerk.
Can I have Stan and Nicole on standby, on deck?
Good evening, honorable members of the City Council. Stan Wilson, 17642 Poplar Avenue. I would like to make some follow-up remarks to the special council meeting that was held last week. Mayor Givens asked the high-speed rail representative, following my comments at that meeting, if the Shafter Depot Museum would be affected in any way. Referring to the retained earth variation, the high-speed rail representative said that the depot building would not be affected, but that equipment in the yard would be. Now, there is 16 feet between the depot building and the railroad property line, and that includes our rail siding and our rail cars. Although not officially attached to the building, that is the rail cars, the building is on the National Register of Historic Places. The rails and the cars are an integral part of our historic presentation, and that cannot be compromised. What was not addressed is our other buildings on the property, the pump house, the schoolhouse, and the agricultural museum. The Historical Society representative met 5 times with high-speed rail people from the years 2017 to 2019. To work out a mitigation to the museum because of the wall that would be built adjacent to it. The result was an agreement whereby high-speed rail would paint a mural the entire length of the wall facing the depot, which would create the original viewscape of the depot, and secondly, install air conditioning in the building to protect our artifacts before construction began. At no time in these negotiations was it ever mentioned that any of our space would be violated. This agreement was published by High Speed Rail in a document entitled Fresno to Bakersfield Built Environment Treatment Plan Amendment Number 1, published in June of 2019. I submit to the council Exhibit A drawing made by High Speed Rail of the wall, clearly showing the wall behind our rail cars on our property. The mural that they have on here is not what we agreed to. We agreed to the entire wall would be a mural right up to the top. Furthermore, on page 8 of the document entitled Grade Separation Variation, which was discussed last week, The map shows no impact to the Historical Society property. It is interesting that the rest of the parcels are impacted, which would require the removal of those buildings. It is not clear why they would need more space there and not on the historical property, since everything's adjacent. It is stated in the document that BNSF has requested the wall be built outside the property line. If one looks carefully at the drawing on page 8, the BNSF has a 100-foot right-of-way, and the tracks are not located at the center of that right-of-way. The center line of the westerly track is 28 feet from the Western Railroad property line, and the center line of the easterly track is 41 feet from the Eastern Railroad property line. It appears that if they move the alignment to the center, they would gain a little more room to build their wall on their footings. I would urge the council that in enforcing the original agreement that was made, that the walls remain inside the BNSF right-of-way as was agreed and as was promised. I'm also, you can have those
Oh, yeah,
photos.
she'll photocopy for us.
I'm also exhibiting Exhibit B, which is another high-speed rail, a drawing of the wall from Walker Avenue. What this wall shows is the mural that's currently on the Floyd store being repainted on the wall. Now, this is not something that we discussed with High Speed Rail during our meetings, but I think it's a really good idea. The artist who drew that came up with replacing that mural on the wall. And I would suggest and urge the council, if the wall is built, that the mural is repainted on the wall. Okay, thirdly, High Speed Rail has made it clear they do not want to move or raise the BNSF tracks. And that was really the result in the unacceptable plans that were presented last week. If that is the sticking point, then I would suggest that the council think about renegotiating for placing the high-speed rail on the viaduct as originally proposed. Now, the agreement that was made by the city council with the high-speed rail for the retained earth variation provided for great separation for BNSF. Of course, that had multiple benefits to the city by the elimination of all trains blocking our crossings and by the elimination of the blowing of horns. However, I submit to you that we had lived with the railroad being there far longer than any of us can remember, since it's been there since 1898. And we can continue to do so if it means disrupting our city so severely as they now propose. Here is Exhibit C. Here, a photo of the, not a photo, a drawing of how the viaduct would look going across Central Avenue. The viaduct is the least disruptive to any of the proposals as far as affecting our current way of life in Shafter. It would take the space between Walker Avenue and the BNSF and not affect anything else. So I think it is something that needs to, an option that needs to be relooked at with the proposals and plans that are now coming out of the High Speed Rail Authority. The city staff and ultimately the council has a big job to do in protecting our city, protecting our museum, protecting our businesses. We are looking behind you and we are looking for a success in negotiating with the High Speed Rail Authority. Thank you.
Mr. Wilson, do you have a copy, or do we have a copy of that agreement that they have as far as the Historic Society is concerned?
If it's, I think that was an official high-speed rail agreement that you guys executed, correct?
Yeah, I have a copy of the document, not with me, but I have it.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd love to get a copy. We'll also look at the high-speed rail, the form bank they have on their website to see if they've logged it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, please. I'm, you know, there's a little bit of weight around the fact that you have a historic society. It's been registered as such, and I'd like to.
So we want to make sure that the entire property is protected. I mean, he guaranteed that they would protect the building, but the entire property there is needs to be protected. Maybe Kathy might remember. No, that's way before. The city council about 40 years ago designated that as a historic zone for the city of Shafter.
Well, I started in 82, but it was.
82?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's been a historic zone for a long time.
Well, yeah, we could make a lot of comments. I mean, there's a lot of things that's been said and done and whatever through the years, so, but even from this meeting.
Perfect.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Honorable City Council members. My name is Nicole Villaruz. I'm your local government affairs rep for PG&E. Thank you for allowing me a few minutes. I will not take a full 5 minutes. I am trying to stop by all of the cities in my division, their council meetings, just to remind you that I'm your local government affairs rep. And it's also because of the time change. I feel like I call this streetlight season, and it's when we notice what streetlights are out, which makes you think of PG&E. And I just wanted, and also ahead of storm season, because our northern part of our territory is also going to face some severe weather later this week. So just letting you know that you might be receiving emails from me regarding storm preparedness. As always, I am always available via email, text. I've had the pleasure of meeting with you on one-on-one. Of course, your city manager always is gracious with his time and allows me to give updates as needed. But again, just a little check-in, trying to make it to all the city council meetings, which are kind of difficult because sometimes the cities meet at the exact same day on the exact same time. So I'm grateful that I was able to be in Shafter here today. So thank you. You know where to find me. I know where to find you. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of the meeting.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Nicole. Very good. Any other public comments for the evening? Hearing none, seeing none at that point. Public comment is closed. Going to move into our council announcements and reports. Council Member Espinoza, sir, I'll start with you.
On the 27th, I attended a special council meeting at the Veterans Hall on the high-speed rail. And there's a lot of spirit in keeping our town the same way it is. And I'd like to thank everyone that came out and took the time to address that meeting and bring up their concerns. And I feel we're pretty much aligned with a lot of things that we heard that night. On the 29th, I attended a quarterly budget check with the head of the Department of Finance, Roger. He has a special knack at being able to present things in a way that is easy to understand. So I'd like to thank him for that. And then there was an oath of office for an animal control service worker, Felicia Arzmendez. I missed that one, but I just wanted to tell her congratulations and welcome to the Shafter family. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Alvarado.
I have nothing to report.
Councilmember Proud.
Yes, I'm going to start on 10/23. There was a annual meeting with the Shafter Historical Society, and they did go ahead and add, well, they had nominations for Board of Directors. Roger Strader is one, and he's leading as the president, isn't he? Yes. And then Dolly Hyde joined the group too. So if you're interested, they can always use some additional people too. So just let us know. They also had a presentation from two people representing the Ridge Route Communities Museum. One of them was Kevin Wotan, and the other one was Sydney Closman. And they both serve on this museum board of directors. They do tours, but what was interesting is they told the history of the past, the present, and the future of this Ridge Route, because they are trying to bring it back. And I'm hoping that even I can get a chance someday to go and drive it, tour it, see what it's like, and tours start in the spring. It was well-attended meeting too. Also, I wanted to mention, we lost a citizen in Shafter named Daniel Smith, and Daniel and his wife Janice came to Shafter years ago. He was the manager of our Holiday Ford, and he came here from Ohio, had already worked in sales or with cars, and he passed on the 16th of last month due to West Nile virus. And so it's important to know how you need to be really cautious, because only about 10% die from West Nile virus, and yet it is out there, and you need to be really careful when you're bitten by a mosquito. Also, I came by the trunk or treat that you had set up over in Veterans Park, and nice setup, nice group of people. There wasn't even a place to park, so I drove around a little bit and then I drove off. But kids were walking, families were walking, and a nice opportunity, nice evening. So tell the Lions Club thank you for putting that together. And then I did attend to the budgets check-in with staff and council members. Some of it I've talked to Roger before, but it's always good to hear it in another way. And there was a lot of comments and questions, and I think it's always good to keep up with the budget, and our staff is doing a good job with that. And then I also did come for the oath of office for Felicia Aris Mendez, and welcomed her too. So she's with Animal Control. So I am.
Very good. I can only add, which surprises me, you didn't say nothing,
What?
Pete.
Football.
Go Shafter.
No.
I am surprised you didn't say a thing about it.
Well, I mean, the football team had a tough game and they pulled it out. And then the Shafter
There
Commanders,
he is.
we had a second round playoff game and we were victorious. So now we've only had one loss through the season. That was against Liberty. So we're playing them this Saturday for the championship. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And then go Dodgers.
I'm surprised you didn't say that already.
Better
My Atlanta.
It's been exciting.
It's been a very busy week. Great to see the Shafter Pride come together and just everybody coming together to support one another. Nothing too crazy happening, I guess would be the way to say it. Events that are coming up this Friday, there is a game at the high school for playoffs. There is also First Fridays that is taking place Friday as well. And then I believe, get my bearings right, is it next Friday, the Gossamer Grove Night Market? Is my bearings right? Is that the 13th?
No, I think you're.
Am I 1 week off? Don't judge me
Yeah.
for being one
Yeah.
week off, guys. Come on.
Well, Shafter High doesn't
So
play this Friday.
They do. Shafter High plays this
I
Friday.
thought it's the 14th,
They play this Friday.
right
Yep.
here. I know it's not here, but I. thought-
Veterans Day game this Friday, so be
Mhm.
prepared for that. And there's just a lot going on in Shafter, which is good to know. The Lady Generals have started their
Oh,
third round of playoffs tonight up north in Emmanuel. So a lot going on for Shafter, a lot to be proud about with Shafter. And still a lot of events coming up. And I presume Christmas parade coming up, Gilbert?
Yes,
Okay. You have dates on that yet?
on the 5th, Friday the 5th.
Okay, so you have Christmas break coming up for all those interested. See the Lions Club, they put on a great event. That'll be Friday, December 5th. So just a lot going on and a lot to get ready for, folks. With that said, we're going to move into our consent calendar. This evening on consent calendar, we have 10 items. Don't forget the item number 9 was removed, so it's 10 total. I'll do a brief read through of these. Number 1, approve general checks. Number 2, approve payroll. Number 3, approve the special event permit for Shafter Recreation and Park District 746 Sports Foundation. They call it the Pie Pursuit 5K Run. I know that eating pie and running 5K is not the same thing. But there's a cool 5K run they're prepping for. Number 4, approve the special event permit for the Gossamer Night Market. I was so wrong. It is on the 21st of November, so I apologize for that. Number 5, waive reading of ordinance 772, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Shafter approving the zone change number 2372. Number 8, approve the amendment to the City of Shafter Department Head Employment Agreement Template to remove the clause under Section 3, Section D, subsection D. Number 7, ratify the MOU between the city and SPOA for the period of January 3rd, 2026 to December 31st, 2026, and authorize a budget amendment in the amount of $245,346 for fiscal year 2025, 2026. Number 8, authorize the installation of a stop sign for eastbound vehicular traffic at Pozo Avenue before the intersection at Kern. Number 9 was forwarded. Number 10, approve, number 1, a utility agreement, and number 2, a cover agreement with the California Department of Transportation. And lastly, number 11, accept a dedication of access rights from Lerdo LLC, a California limited liability company for parcel merger 25-14. Bear with us for 1 second, council. Any questions, comments, or concerns for the consent calendar?
Okay, so.
I'll ask one more time. Questions, comments, or concerns? And if hearing none or seeing none, I just need to make a request for a motion in a second to carry, please.
Excuse me, one more time, Marco?
Yeah, so, you recall, council member. Item number 5 is second reading of the zoning ordinance on the Chavez Housing Project. Recall that when we had the public hearing and first reading, you voted no
No.
on those. So if you wanted to be consistent, you would indicate to the clerk that you're voting yes on the consent calendar, but you'd like your vote recorded as no on item 5.
Okay. I'm voting yes on the consent calendar and no on item number 5.
I'm going to take that as a motion by Councilmember Espinoza. I need a second, please. Okay, I have a second by Councilmember Prout. I'll have roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
Espinoza,
No.
Well, yes,
Well,
you have the
yes.
exception for number 5.
Okay, with the attachment number 5.
Yeah. and Given.
Yes, give me a second to write that down, folks. I got to make sure I do this correctly. But that will carry with Pete giving a no on this one. Thank you so much. All right, very good. Moving into our management report items, we have 2 items for this evening. Item number 1 is the Safe Streets and Roads for All Action Plan Professional Services Agreement. And we get, oh, I thought you were both coming up together. That was going to be a special treat. Mr. James?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the Chappaqua City Council. I'm Michael James, Director of Public Works. The city was awarded $160,000 in federal funding through the Safe Streets and Roads for All program. The goal of this program is to support transportation planning and implementation projects by reducing injuries and eliminating fatalities on local roadways. The city's award focuses on the preparation of a comprehensive action plan to improve roadway safety for all, including residents, commuters, pedestrians, bicyclists, transit customers, as well as commercial vehicle operators. We'll be building upon a local road safety plan that was previously prepared for the city a few years ago, which identified high-risk intersections and roadway segments needing safety improvements, including sections of Shafter Avenue, East Lerdo Highway, State Route 43, 7 Standard Road, Tulare Avenue, and Mantle Avenue. This new plan will evaluate these areas in greater detail, providing additional analysis, including right-of-way needs, additional safety risk factors, and environmental constraints. The main distinction between the plan that was prepared before, the LRSP, and the plan we're proposing to move forward with now, the action plan, is the former is geared towards optimizing the prospects for state construction funding, whereas the action plan, what we're wanting to move forward with tonight, is geared towards optimizing the chances for federal construction funding. So to date, the city has already executed a grant funding agreement and completed a request for proposals for a consultant to prepare the action plan. We did receive 5 proposals, which were ranked by city staff. Proposals submitted by TJKM Transportation Consultants was the highest ranked because they've demonstrated extensive experience developing action plans, and they previously prepared the LRSP that I was referring to, so they're familiar with chapters as safety priorities. And they have strong qualifications in general with safety analytics, public engagement, and grant acquisition. So their proposed cost is just over $190,000, which can be covered by our federal grant of $160,000 plus the required local match of $40,000. A budget amendment is required to ensure that both funding sources are programmed into the capital improvement program. The proposed source of local matching funds is traffic impact fee proceeds. So once the work commences, staff will keep the council and the public up to date so we can let everyone know how and when to participate in the process. So unless you have any questions or concerns for me, the recommendation tonight is to approve and award a professional services contract to TJKM and programming $200,000 into the CIB.
Very good. Council, questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, seeing none, I'm going to look for a motion and a second to carry, please.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay. I have a motion by Councilmember Espinoza, second by Councilmember Alvarado. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
Espinoza,
Yes.
and Given.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. Item number 2, the Shafter Police Department Substation Site Improvements Project PD 1.1 Award, sir.
Honorable Mayor, members of the Shafter City Council, staff recently conducted formal bidding for the Shafter Police Department Substation Site Improvements Project. We recently awarded the modular building construction to JTS Construction, or JTS Modular, and they're underway with that, and I believe they've already started a little bit on the building. But on this, for the site improvement project, we did receive 7 bids. The apparent low bidder was BDM Incorporated. However, they failed to submit the required bid bond with their bid, and as a result, they are required to be deemed non-responsive. So the next responsible bid was submitted by SW Construction in the amount of $2,460,130.93. Now, one of the things to note was that they did have a discrepancy with one line item where they listed the unit price as $12.21 cents per square foot for a $21,000 line item, or 21,000 square foot item. So the indicated total price for this item that they wrote in was $25,641. So the math doesn't work out on that. Using the unit price they listed, it would have resulted in a total item price of $256,000. So roughly $225,000 more. It's important to note that regardless of which value was used in this case, it would not have affected them being deemed the lowest responsive bid. So as we reviewed their bid, the $25K price was more consistent with the subtotal that they listed for subtotal A, as well as the total bid price. That number was consistent with what they were intending to bid. And so we followed up with SW Construction and they confirmed, yes, the $25K was the intention to bid there and they just miscalculated the unit price. So the $2.4 million price that we're listing here, $2,460,130.93, is using the total price of $25,641 that they listed and had written in. So just for clarification, that's, one item that came up. Now, SW Construction previously completed the CVH lift station project for us, so the one that we just did out here prior to the car wash coming in. Successful project with them. For this project, staff does recommend a total construction budget of $2.7 million to account for construction and any contingencies that might come up during construction. CIP project PD1 has about $11.5 million programmed, of which approximately $7.3 million is already committed for the modular building construction, design, and support costs like PG&E and other things. And so no budget action is necessary at this time because there's already enough funds programmed in the CIP to cover this item. So the action, and for clarification on the timeline, so this contract does have 150 calendar days to complete. So that's roughly 5 months. So that puts the site somewhere in about May by the time we get contracts executed to be finished with site improvements, assuming there's no delays in weather and any coordination issues with the modular building as they look to move that on site. So the action for today would be to accept the 7 bids that were received, find the bids submitted by BDM Incorporated as non-responsive, and authorize the Deputy Public Works Director to issue a notice of award and notice to proceed to SW Construction in an amount of $2,460,130.93 and establish a total construction budget of $2.7 million. And with that, I'd be happy to take any questions on the item.
Council, question, comments, or concerns? One for you, Mr. Attorney. Do you need us to read that in for the removal of BDM from lowest responsive bid? Okay, I need a motion and a second to carry. Please make sure the best thing to do would just to state the recommendation in your motion, if you don't mind, please.
I'll move that.
You okay with that?
Read it exactly.
You want me to read it right here?
Yes, please.
Okay, we find the action is not defined as a project. Accept the 7 bids, find the bid submitted by BDM Incorporated as non-responsive. Authorize the Deputy Public Works Director to issue a notice of award and notice to proceed to SW Construction, Inc. as the lowest responsible bid in the amount of $2,460,130.93 for the Shafter Police Department substation site improvement and establish total construction budget of 2.7 million.
I have a motion by Councilmember Proud. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Proud, second by Councilmember Alvarado. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
Espinoza,
Yes.
and Gibbon.
Yes, thank you for reading that. Okay, with that said, those are all the management report items for the evening. My favorite time of the night. City manager comments and reports, sir.
So I actually do have a comment.
Woo!
So, tonight, council heard items from the Public Works Director and the Deputy Public Works Director. Beginning Monday, Mike James, pending execution of all documents, will be the Assistant City Manager, and Alex Gonzalez will be the Public Works Director from that point on. So just wanted to make sure council was informed. Very excited about these two moves, so.
Are you gentlemen just as excited?
Of course. They wouldn't dare do anything different.
Would you like to share any comments or anything?
Yeah.
I just want to use this opportunity to thank the city manager for having such confidence in my ability to do this new position and also giving Alex an opportunity to prove himself in my current position. I look forward to serving you in this new capacity, and I'm ready to get to work.
Oh, we're excited. This is great.
Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you.
Well, I would echo that statement for the city manager as well, of having the faith to put me into this position. Also for the council, always being supportive over the years of everything we do in public works. And then a big shout out to Mike just for the mentor that he's been all the years. And, you know, I'm sad to see him leave public works because he's been there my entire career, but I'm excited for him and the new journey that he has. So thank you to Mike.
Yeah, but you still come together.
Oh yeah, all the time.
I think technically he's still your boss, so
He is still my boss.
congratulations to you both. That's
Congratulations.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, department director comments and reports?
No comments, no reports.
Okay, all right, very good. With that said, I'm going to need a motion and a second for adjournment for this evening.
All motion.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion by Councilmember Espinoza, second by Councilmember Alvarado. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Same sign as opposed. Hearing none. Adjourned at 6:33 PM.